All right, for more on this, let's bring in former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and Fox contributor as well. Mr. Secretary, you heard Alex Hogan's great report there. Tensions are high. Everyone's pulling people out. Your reaction, your thoughts on this?
There's no doubt that tensions are high. That those tensions, however, they're not a result of Israeli actions. They're a result of Iranian actions. Every single one of the risks that you identified, whether it was what's happening in southern Lebanon, northern Israel, what's happening in Gaza, what's happening in the West Bank, this is all being driven by a central actor. And until it's the case that the United States of America takes up its responsibility to continue to push back against this terror threat, a terror threat not only to the region but to the United States as well. So long as the Iranians feel like they can safely use their proxies to inflict harm on Israel and Israelis, these tensions are to continue because they think they've got the upper hand and they have a Biden administration that's on its back foot and not prepared to actually take the actions that can de-escalate these tensions in the way that we had done for 4 years when we built out a model. Well, part of it was the Abraham Accords, but a model that had delivered deterrence against Iran in a way that we've now all fundamentally lost.
Do you agree with the decision by Israel to take out Ismail Haniyeh, the Hamas leader? And do you see that as perhaps what is leading to these high tensions and what may spark a wider conflict?
Well, as for the tactics and strategy that the Israelis will choose, that's to them. But taking a terrorist like Haniyeh off the battlefield, that seems like the right thing to do to me, Griff. These are things that the Iranians will observe. They'll see Israel's capability of reaching deep inside of their country. They've already witnessed Israel's ability to defend itself from missile attacks directly out of Iran and protect its own people. I watch this time and time again. When you demonstrate resolve, just like when we took Qasem Soleimani from the battlefield, the Iranians took note and that deterrence was restored. It is only that strength that they'll understand. They're simply never going to understand, hey, can't we all just get along? Boy, we hear you, we see you. The kind of things that Vice President Harris is saying are fueling the continued war and the continued risk.
And when you look at, in the case of Haniyeh, he was playing a leading role in the ceasefire negotiations, trying to get the Israeli hostages back. Does that set this back?
I don't think so at all. Next man up, they'll find somebody else to go in because in the end, this is Sinwar. This is the Ayatollah that are conducting these negotiations. Haniyeh is just a useful, or was just a useful tool. He is acting on behalf of the Iranian regime. And, Griff, I got to say, whenever I hear President Biden or Vice President Harris talk about a ceasefire, what they are really saying is they're going to allow the horrors of October 7th to happen again. They want the Israelis to stand down while Hamas is still powerful and armed, and while Hezbollah still has thousands of missiles in Lebanon, keeping 100,000 Israelis from returning to their homes. That's the danger. When we demand there be a ceasefire, the bad guys, the terrorists, they will continue their efforts and they will be rewarded for what they did if we don't do the hard work of actually using the strength that we all have, the power and capacity that we clearly have, to demonstrate resolve of the Gulf states, the Israelis, and the Americans to work together against Iran.
I want to shift gears just a little bit, Mr. Secretary, and talk about the news we're all reporting today. Defense Secretary Austin tearing up that 9/11 plea deal for the 9/11 mastermind and accomplices. Your reaction?
Well, I'm glad he did it, but wow. President Biden said he had nothing to do with that. I can't imagine a president of the United States that wasn't making very clear to his entire team, no, we're not going to reward Khalid Sheikh Mohammed and the 9/11 terrorists. We're not going to reward them by not having them stand trial and not giving them the penalty that they so richly deserved. How a president could not be involved, or maybe he really was, and then they saw the political blowback for the victims of 9/11 and their families, and for American security. These are all connected ideas. When we tell the world that America is not prepared to bring justice against terrorists, we're going to get more terror. Just like when we trade terrorists for hostages, we're going to get more American hostages taken. These things are all deeply connected. The bad guys can see weakness, and they smell it today, Griff. And we're in a dangerous place for these next few months with President Biden.
Well, and you lead me to sort of what I wanted to talk to you next, and that is, it is fantastic that we have gotten some of our prisoners out of Putin's jails, but obviously people like Mark Foley and others are still there. So it is your belief then that these prisoner swap deals incentivize Putin to just take more prisoners?
100%. I was involved in several dozen hostage returns, along with Ambassador Bryan and President Trump. We were working every day to get every single American home, but we damn sure weren't going to create a market that encouraged the Ayatollah in Iran or the Chinese government or the Russian government to take more innocent Americans. We weren't going to trade just Americans or journalists in the case of Evan. We were going to trade those people for people who had conducted mayhem and terror. That tells them just go pull an American from a business, pull them out of an airport terminal. It creates an enormous incentive for American or European hostage taking when the Americans and Europeans have said, you can come kill people on our soil. All you need to do to get them back is hold one of our Americans for a few days or a few months. It is joyous that those families got their loved ones home. I couldn't be happier for those families, but I am troubled by what will be the impact on the next family that is impacted by an innocent American or an innocent European that is taken hostage in the weeks or months ahead, because we have now told the bad guys, this is what it takes to get your murderers and terrorists back home.
Mr. Secretary, I want to put you in your old role. Secretary Blinken has made continuous trips overseas, particularly trying to deal with Iran and the situation that we were talking just a moment ago about developing in Israel. What would you do differently? Where are they failing, and where would you have done it better?
Well, we did do it better. I don't have to guess about this. We did it better for 4 years. We grabbed the right end of the stick. We knew who our friends were, the people in Israel. We knew that we had allies in the Gulf Arab states, and we knew who the bad guys were, the Iranians. And we were morally clear every single day about that. We imposed real cost on the Iranians. We provided real benefits to our friends and allies, security agreements, commercial trade, weapon systems, all the things they needed to secure their own defenses. And that combination of activities, exactly what the Biden administration has gotten wrong. They tried to befriend and negotiate with the Iranians. They said that the crown prince in Saudi Arabia was a pariah, and then they told the Israelis to stand down and that they had to be very careful about what they did. They've got it exactly backwards, Griff. We need to return to the model that we had for 4 years, because that delivered not only deterrence, but more prosperity and peace in the region as well. And that meant fewer Americans having to put their lives at risk by traveling to the region, as we're doing today, put their lives at risk because deterrence has been fundamentally lost.
And let me just ask you lastly, should former President Trump win in November, would you like that job back?
I haven't been asked to do anything, but as I've said before, if I think I can make a difference and I am asked by President Trump to come serve, I am all in to serve America.
All right. Former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, thank you for your insight and your time today.
Yes, sir.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.